Let's go!
If we could address you directly right now.
Everything comes full circle.
That's number one.
I don't tell him what questions to ask me.
There are a lot of people around town that have the same question.
Brush my teeth. I'm a good wash in the morning.
I can't confirm or deny.
You know, just keep going a little bit longer here, Mike. Keep going a little bit longer.
And here we are back live at the Krabs Italian Grill at the Fayetteville Town Center, the exclusive Q&A with the Coach Red Autry here. And welcome to those getting the notifications that we are indeed streaming here on QSportsTalk.com. So welcome as I see people start to tune in and say hi. If you have a question for Coach, feel free to put it into the stream chat here at the QSportsTalk.com. And a couple people saying hi already. Frank says hi and good evening. And Coach, welcome.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
You know, I was listening on the way in with Matt that first hour, and it was kids' night, and it was right when I got in the car, right at 7. It sounded like awful.
No, it was a lot of kids here.
In a good way.
A lot of kids. Otto was here. Balloons. It was great.
Yeah, it was, and then
a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and then I'm glad I got all my shots. You know, because like when I was coming in, it sounded like everything from croup to impetigo to everything that kids, it's that time of the year. It's cold and flu season here.
Oh yeah.
But we made it, and good to see you, Coach. And if you have a question for Coach, we can get started here. Just a look back last week at BC, the triple overtime game, and that's a lot of basketball, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of basketball.
And then even in that game, Coach, at one point down 7 maybe, but still with the fight and to get. Thank you, Paulie. That's like I remember playing Babe Ruth baseball, and they called a timeout, and the umpire had to tuck my pants in.
Oh man!
Right in front of everybody. It's like, come on. what are you doing, man? Just let me go to the sideline and do it in the dugout or something. Yeah. But going back to the game, down 7 in the overtime, but still with the fight to come back and do what they needed to do.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great example of resilience and poise, they really stuck together and pulled it out. Again, we talked about some things. We wanted to get the ball in certain places. We did. We executed extremely well in those overtime. In those overtime sessions. And then I thought the third one we really closed it out. 10-1. So they really finished it out.
It was fun, a great atmosphere, and a great crowd. Again, really supportive.
The crowd was phenomenal. This is what makes this place special. The community, the fans, our student body. Obviously, we're having not the year that we want, but it just shows, how great this place is and how passionate our fan base is and the support in the community. And, and I think that really it goes a long way with our players. And again, some people say, how are they? Are they spirits down? These guys are excited to play every time at home. They looking for it. They look excited. They're excited for it. They want to put on a show and they want to win. And so again, as we talk about finishing this season out, finishing this part of the season out, and then we get ready for the next part. The next part is the postseason, and that's how we think.
First question up from Steve. Coach Eddie has been putting up amazing numbers recently. Is he now the best player on your team?
I think Eddie has always been important to our team. He's a guy that is a physical presence. He has a motor. He does a lot. Some things that don't show up in the statistics. He can move the ball, pass the ball. So he's important. But he's definitely a guy that is important for our success. We need him to play well for us to be successful.
From Roddy wants to know how beneficial has being signed up for Players Era Festival helped in recruiting for the 2025 class?
I think before we finished out that class, that was obviously a selling point. When I took the job over, I said I wanted to, get involved into those types of events, to go challenge ourselves. And, the first 2 years we've done that. Our non-conference has been, as hard as we've had in a while. This year we didn't, get the wins that we needed to get. I know last year, we had some big wins. We beat Oregon on the road, and Georgetown on the road, and and LSU at home. So but this year, we kind of came up short on it. But I believe in having an experience and a challenging schedule to get our guys ready, no matter what, and to get them battle tested. And I think it's exciting for the fans to be able to go down to Brooklyn and play in those events and go places. Now we just got to right the ship and come away with some victories, moving forward, and we will. There's no doubt about it.
Maybe going into next year's this next question. He wants to know how excited you are to hit the portal and get a start on next year, because it's a every day of the week. It's not like a season. It's always the season.
No, it's definitely something that you got to prepare for and be ready for. And I think this year we'll be well prepared for it. With the addition of Alex Klein, he's done a phenomenal job. So we'll be prepared for the portal. Obviously, with everything changing, everyone understands how important this new college thing is. Our athletic department, our AD John Wildhack, the chancellor, everyone understands it, and we're gonna put this thing together.
Another question here from the stream chat. As we conclude the end of your second year, Coach, what do you think that you've learned about yourself and that you need to improve on as a coach, and how do you plan on getting better at, like everybody, has your job next year going into season 3?
Yeah, I think each year you learn from something. I think this year when this year is over with, I'll be able to kind of reset and really kind of put it down on paper and really get it all together and organized. But it's been a lot of challenges this year that I didn't face last year. So between these year 1 and year 2, I'm sure I will get better and improve on whatever those things are. But I've been thrown a lot in this year in particular. Last year, my first year, I didn't deal with injuries. This year, I've dealt with injuries. And unfortunately, our 2 best players, they only played a total of 6 games. When you talk about roster construction, how important that is, the versatility piece, being able to play different styles. So again, I've had to adjust and learn, and I believe when it's all said and done, this will all be beneficial for us moving forward, as far as not only the coaching aspect, but being able to put a roster together now, and obviously with the new NIL and kind of managing that, having our support staff. So again, I think we've put everything in place, so I'm excited about the future.
Now, do you, at the end of the season, whenever that happens to be, or do you go to are there coaches conferences? Are there guys other coaches that you have like your own retreat with maybe, and just kind of talk about all this kind of stuff with? It's
you go down to the Final Four. That's a big thing. You have conventions, rules changes committees. You have a lot of things going on, and you can catch up with your mentors there typically sometimes, but it's still a lot going on, and it's the portal, so you're still working on. But typically when I decompress, it's me going somewhere, or me, maybe right when the season's over with, me going to a game or going to a practice at the NBA, or, talking to some people and having some questions. Last year I had some questions, but this year I really have some questions and some things that I want to really pick some of my mentors' brains about ideas and things going forward. So, I think this year I'll be a little bit more, I'll have more to do quicker.
This one here, Coach. How much would you say the Miami game being on the road impacted the result? Also, were there any tired legs from the triple overtime game? Combination of those two? I mean, it's probably not the optimum.
Yeah, no, I didn't think Miami, people, it's a distraction, or, they're down in the sun. I thought we handled that well. We were in California for a week, so I didn't feel that, and obviously as a coach, we tried to prepare, give them that balance to have the fresh legs. So I didn't think that we were fatigued at all. Again, Miami's a good team. I mean, I know their record doesn't say that, but they have a lot of talented players, and if you follow them very closely, they were in a lot of games. So obviously they didn't win a lot, but it sounds, contradictory, but, you win on the road, it's always tough to play on the road no matter what.
And Miami, since midseason when Coach Larinaga stepped down. Since then, they've been playing better together with the interim coach and just as a team gelling a little bit better this time of the year.
Yeah, again, I mean, we didn't go down to Miami and say, hey, we just going to show up and they were just going to lay down. They want to win too. They're competing too, and they're trying to win, and they have pride, and they have all that stuff too. So, again, nobody's just going, roll over and say, hey, again, and that's what we came up short, and that happens, and we got to get past that and get ready for Carolina, which we're doing right now.
This one here, Coach. What's your pitch to fans on the sideline on why they should invest in the NIL? If you were in front of a group of investors, how would you word that for them?
I think the investors and what we're doing and the experience and what Syracuse tradition is about, I think it's an electric place, an electric community, and you have a chance to impact it. And typically, your stakeholders are the people that have followed this, this brand of Syracuse basketball. For us to get it back to what we enjoyed and what we loved and the memories and the excitement and things like that, you have to invest in it now. It's not just the buildings. It's really having the resources to be able to pay the players if you want to get the best players and you want to have those exciting times and recreate those things. We have to be able to be competitive in that field, and then all of our tradition and all that other stuff will come, is a part of it. But it's a thing that people want to come to Syracuse. Again, we've been in so many recruiting battles, and haven't had a chance. We've come up short we've come up short, and that's just the reality of it. But moving forward, if we want to change, and get back to that standard, we got to have that investment, not only from the school, but from the community now and the businesses.
This one here, and I actually caught a little bit of the SMU game with the Michael Carter Williams doing broadcasting, and he's an analyst now. And that's the question, have you had a chance to see him, and what do you think of him and Eric and Coach Boeheim as analysts when you see them or hear them? Or have you had a chance to?
I haven't had a chance. I've seen Michael. Typically when we are playing, he's kind of in the studio. And at that time, my mind is, getting ready for the game. And I've heard Coach. I heard Coach do the Clemson game, one game. He was pretty good. He was pretty funny. He was talking about his food.
Yeah.
He was talking about his dinner. And I was like, that's Coach. And I think Michael is really doing a good job from what I hear. And then, it doesn't surprise me. He was always a smart young guy, smart young man, and articulate. So I'm just happy to see, excited for this. Always excited to see our former players, begin and get involved in, that second part of their when their playing days are over, to see them doing stuff and being around the game and still loving the game, and having insight and being able to be, productive.
And Michael's sporting a pretty good beard there, and this is like a playoff beard.
Yeah, he got a beard. He got a little ponytail, right? He let the hair grow out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Carmelo just got an NBA studio job with the NBC.
Oh, he'll be good. He'll be good. Melo's good. I like his podcast. I listen to his podcast. Pretty good.
Any guys who are that good and have been that good at something for so long have so much insight to put into it. I think Eric is doing a great job.
Eric is phenomenal. He's phenomenal. He does his insight and Eric is Eric. And that's what I love about him. And I always say, you can't be, you can only be the best version of yourself. And I think he does a great job of it.
This question here: any thoughts of bringing like a Tim O'Toole type of coach, like a guy with a lot of knowledge and he's been here before, obviously, as an assistant back in the day?
I think Tim is happy where he's at Pittsburgh. When you talk about, adding staff members, those are things that, have not, been discussed or even talked about. I love my staff. I think my staff is phenomenal, with the addition of Dan Ingolstadt and Brendan Strawn and Alan Griffin, and obviously the addition of Alice Klein and, Eugene. And, we have a very, very good staff. And I think everyone will start to see the impact of our staff as we move forward.
Question here, after we kind of touched on a little bit there with the pitch part, but after 2 years of no March Madness for us, and then right now under 500, What's the plan to make the tournament next year?
Acquire talent, continue to build continuity. We have a great recruiting class coming. It's a top 10 recruiting class, and obviously you can't depend on that solely. But I think we'll be able to retain some guys from this year's team, and then you build on that, and we'll have the resources to build on that. That's the great. We'll have the resources, and we'll have opportunity, and so it's a lot of excitement. Moving forward. Again, I think when you really kind of look at things as someone taking over. I think the one thing is that obviously I played here and I was under I was with Coach, but I'm doing my thing now and trying to put my personal spin on it. And it's hard, because people still lump those years in with me, and that's okay, but. I think, like anything, year 3 is a year you can really start to see the difference. And I think, people will see the difference. I think, everything that has been put in place to make that difference with what I talked about.
This one regarding the Miami game. Obviously, you put up 84, and that should be enough to win, and then the defense just didn't perform. But that's the question. If I can find here. I'm just going to paraphrase because I lost it here. Are they trying hard enough on defense? It's kind of the question. It's kind of the question here. I'm paraphrasing it.
Well, they are. Could they? They're trying. Obviously, when you give up 90 points, you say, are they trying hard enough? But Miami's a good offensive team. They're an explosive offensive team. That's never changed. From that aspect. So it was a challenge, but the guys are trying. Obviously, I think focus needs to be better. I think we need to be more connected. Defense is not just one guy; it's 5 guys moving together and working together on the communication and things like that. And I think again, we do it in stretches. We do it in stretches. We just haven't done it. Consistently for 40 minutes. And that's where, we've been going back and forth because, we, like you said, 84 points is a lot of points, and, it's enough points to win, especially on the road.
We had Griff on yesterday, and I was telling him that, when you're watching at home and you get excited and the other team, in this case Miami, going up the court and you're yelling from the couch, stop him, stop. And he said, well, that's what we're doing on the bench too. Same thing. It sounds the same thing on a bench as it does on your couch. I mean, we're just as frustrated as everybody watching when things aren't going as planned.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is we're playing against good teams. And when you again, you're in competition, you're trying to, encourage them and implore them, you prepare them, you practice with them, you create these things every day in these scenarios and you practice these scenarios. So you just gotta, again, and sometimes it's, to me, sometimes, offense impacts defense.
North Carolina coming next, obviously, on Saturday. And I heard you and Matt talking about last year's win, great win against a very talented North Carolina team a year ago. That was the exact same. It's February 13th, a year ago.
Oh.
So today's the February 13th, so 1 year ago tonight.
Yeah. Talented team. They have great guard play. Probably not one of their biggest teams that they've had in the past, but still a tough team. Defensively, they get after you. They push the pace. They run on made baskets. They create turnovers. They made on. They run on steals and made baskets. So that's the one thing. North Carolina, you got to have your track shoes on, ready to get up and down.
This question here, what percentage of defense comes down to skill versus effort?
It's a lot of technique. Offenses are different now. People are moving. They do, the offenses are more sophisticated than I think they have been. And the players are a lot better. You got skill. You got at times you got 4 or 5 guys out there that all can stretch the defense and shoot the defense. So it's different. It's challenging to defend in today's game. It's people shoot threes. People can drive to the basket. Just having that talent and the offensive schemes are different. So you need technique. you need to be able to read, you need to be able to analyze, and you need to be able to make decisions quick. And I think, the game is changed that way.
Let me see. Do you ever consult with Coach Boeheim?
I'll talk to Coach.
He's in most every. He still is obviously the officer.
Not as much because he's working now. He's doing his,
doing his games.
He's doing his games and things like that. And the one thing about Coach is he's given me space to kind of, but he's there. If I need him, he's giving me space, and I can bounce some things off of him. He's always, the one thing about Coach is, he's always going to be there for his players.
This one here, do you keep in touch with Coach Hopkins now that he's with the Phoenix Suns?
I talked to him right before he took the job, but I haven't had much communication with him after that. I'm sure his schedule is hectic and mine is as well, but we don't talk as much. But I talked to him right before he took that job.
This one here, do you think there'll be changes near the future for the format that they're currently running when it comes to NIL? It just seems like it just changes like every week, every day. It seems I
think they have something in place for the next couple of years, and I'm sure it'll be a never change at some point. But I think they've kind of, I'm anticipating the change July 1 with this house rule and all that. And I think that'll stay in place for a while, and then they'll kind of make another shift. That's what I think. I'm not an attorney. I don't think, but I think that's what will happen.
And what happens on July 1st? Like, what's the...
they got that's the revenue sharing thing that they're talking about, or where the schools will be able to share revenue with the athletic department, not just with one particular team, all of their teams, where they can share a certain amount of money, and the schools will be able to pay from that pot of money to their athletes, their student athletes.
But this one
hasn't passed yet, though. But they seems like it's going to go through.
It's going to get a lot of questions. A couple of minutes here left. But what was Archie Miller's reaction when you told him you were going to take the Syracuse job over Dayton?
He understood that. That was a funny story because I took the job here without getting back to him and telling him, but he understood.
Oh, did you?
I mean, I committed, said, yeah, I'm coming in. Obviously, it's my dream job. But he understood, going back and being able to work and be at my alma mater. So he was very understanding.
This one here, Coach, on complex offenses, in quotes here, my son plays a D1 sport at another ACC school that we played a month ago. The players said that our offense was easy to prepare for due to lack of movement and active structure.
I wonder, I think, some people have plays and sets, and some people, you teach them how to play. And, our offense hasn't been an issue. I think our offense has been really good this year. For the most part, it's been good enough. We have your offense is always going to be catered to what you think fits your personnel. Again, I don't think our offense is the problem this year.
Going back to last year's win over North Carolina, it just so happens there's a whole bunch of games that happened on February 13th. Just this time of the year, obviously in February. But other games of note on this day, a win over, it's February 13, 2013. It was a UConn game. We lost that one 66-58, but it was Michael Carter Williams had 15 and James Sutherland on that team with 14. That was a February 13th game. You had...
I was here.
Yeah. Well, one that I was at, February 13th, 1980, happened on this day. This is
I wasn't here.
The one at Manley Fieldhouse. A buddy of mine, Matt, had the tickets. We went up to that game against Georgetown.
Oh.
That was the 52-50 game, and it's the John Thompson said the Manley Fieldhouse is officially closed.
That was I heard about it. Wasn't here, though.
That was a February 13th game.
Man.
See, other games of note on this day. 2000, we beat UCLA on February 13th. 2000? In 2000, 71-67.
Where was that at?
That was don't know if it was at home or away, but they played UCLA.
UCLA. I'm sure Coach didn't go out LA to play UCLA. That must have been something.
Also, this past weekend, the 1975 Final Four team was honored, which is great, and it's a whole different era, obviously, going way back. But is that helpful at all? Do any of those guys come and talk to the team? Do the younger guys, obviously not even aware of something that happened almost 50 years ago, literally?
Right. We talked about it, and we were trying to. Obviously, it was an exciting game for everyone, and they had a lot of activities going on. But me and my coaching staff, we had a chance to really go over there and spend some time with those guys, and it was unbelievable. So supportive, so insightful, and kind of. Uplifting our staff. I had some great conversations. Coach Boeheim was over there. Obviously Jim Lee and Rudy Hackett and all those guys. It was a good time over there.
That UCLA game, Steve notes, was at home in the Dome. Wow. So that was here.
Huh.
Yeah, they had a home and home in 99 and 2000.
Was that the last time?
Yeah, they lost 93-69 at Pauley Pavilion and won 71-67.
Huh. That's interesting. He went out west. Okay.
Yeah, I remember them. I remember them playing. I didn't realize it was a home and away thing.
Huh? Interesting.
Well, North Carolina coach on Saturday night, 6:00. Last year we knew the big names: Armando Bacot and R.J. Davis.
He's still there. R.J. Davis is still there.
He's one of those guys that's like, how many years is this guy going to play?
Yeah, still there, over 2,500 points. Talented team. Elliot Cadeau, who was a starting point guard, a talented freshman. They bring back a core of their perimeter. Obviously, they don't have Baco, and they bring in some transfers for the front court. They got a good balance of youth and some experience. A hard playing team that gets up and down. They're a little bit smaller than they have in the past, but they get after it and they compete and they defend. They get up. They really play a fast pace.
Well, one final thought here, Coach. Sophomore slumps are going to happen. You will win here, no question.
I appreciate that, and that's the plan. I'm sure
that's the plan. Thank you. Hey, Coach, thanks. Good luck. Go Orange. We'll see you back here next week, and thanks for joining us here on QSportsTalk.com. See you next Thursday.